the top soldier, seeking to calm his mind, astonishingly leaps off a 30-meter high cliff. Subsequently, he begins to meditate underwater. Post-retirement, Tyler becomes a professional mercenary. One day, his team accepts an extremely dangerous mission to rescue Ovi, the son of India's biggest drug lord. Just a few days earlier, Ovi was playing outside with a friend when, unexpectedly, a soldier shot and killed his friend and then kidnapped Ovi. During this time, Ovi's father, a ferocious Indian drug lord, is serving time in prison. Understanding this act as a humiliation intended to force him to pay a ransom, Ovi's father refuses to bow down. Instead, he hires Tyler's team to retrieve Ovi. At this point, Tyler had received all the necessary intelligence. It turns out that Ovi was kidnapped by Mahajan's archenemy, Amir, who is the largest drug lord in Bangladesh. Tyler swiftly arrives in Bangladesh, where over 20 guards are holding Ovi at a stronghold. Tyler boldly infiltrates the location alone. Immediately, the guards outside are alerted, while Tyler's teammate, a sniper, has been prepared for action for quite some time. At that moment, Tyler was fiercely fighting in a room. Several henchmen armed with machetes rushed in, but Tyler remained unflustered and handled them with ease. One of the attackers, still able to move, who kicked a table onto him. Another grabbed Tyler, who quickly countered by striking his groin and then violently slamming him to the ground, resulting in the kidnapper's immediate death. In just a short time, Tyler had eliminated all the kidnappers in the room. He then successfully rescued Ovi, who was stunned upon seeing the carnage outside. Quickly, Tyler began their planned escape. Meanwhile, upon receiving the news, Amir ordered the military to immediately blockade the entire city area. Indeed, this major drug lord astonishingly had control over the national military forces. However, Tyler had anticipated this. They had already entered the jungle, heading towards a river. The team had arranged a boat for extraction, and as long as Tyler boarded it, they could leave the area before the military blockade was enforced, thus easily completing the mission. But then, an unexpected incident occurred. An alarm sounded from the boat. As Tyler's teammates went to investigate, a person in black suddenly attacked from behind, quickly killing two of Tyler's teammates. The sniper, on lookout outside, noticed the anomaly and aimed his rifle at the boat, while Tyler was ordered to halt in his tracks. As the sniper moved to check the boat, he was shot in the next second. At the same time, local police boats also discovered Tyler's team's vessel. Following that, the man in black appeared and shot the sniper with a single bullet, then charged towards Tyler's location. Receiving the news from the command center, Tyler quickly started to flee with Ovi. The man in black, seeing this, hurriedly removed his mask, revealing himself to be Saju, a subordinate of Ovi's father. Saju shouted for Ovi to come to him. Ovi, recognizing someone familiar, started to approach without any guard. Tyler quickly intervened, warning Ovi that he was hired by his father and Saju's appearance might signify a betrayal, suggesting that going to Saju could lead to being handed over to Amir again. At this moment, numerous soldiers had located Tyler. Reluctantly, Tyler headed into a residential area. After crashing a police car, Tyler and Ovi took refuge in a residential building, with a large number of police officers following them to capture them. Using the complex terrain of the residential building, Tyler quickly began to counterattack. After taking down one person, Tyler actively engaged in close combat with a large number of police officers. Ovi, left unprotected, was chased by a police officer. Fortunately, Ovi was agile enough to escape. Just as the police officer was about to pursue, he was shot dead by Tyler. Then another group of police officers arrived, and Tyler, armed with a handgun, began a fierce battle. After eliminating this group of police officers, Tyler momentarily escaped danger. However, at that moment, Saju reappeared. During their fight, both accidentally fell off the building, landing on the ground, struggling to their feet. They resumed their fight. Tyler soon gained the upper hand, but in the next second, a car hit Tyler, sending him flying. At this moment, Ovi's cries for help were heard, and Saju hurried over, quickly shooting the police near Ovi. Then, Saju was about to leave with Ovi, but the next second, a truck hit him, with Tyler as the driver. After picking up Ovi, a helicopter appeared. To evade its pursuit, Tyler drove towards an overpass. Upon reaching under the overpass, Tyler and Ovi jumped out of the car. The out-of-control truck soon crashed and violently exploded. This maneuver immediately confused the helicopter, allowing Tyler to completely escape. That evening, a colonel working for Amir arrived under the overpass and soon discovered that Tyler was still alive. Amir then issued a citywide manhunt for Tyler. Meanwhile, Tyler was hiding and resting in a factory. He then contacted his team member, Nick, who had also figured out Saju's information. It turned out that Mahajan's funds were frozen by the Indian police, and he couldn't pay the remaining fee to Tyler's team. So, he sent Saju, a retired Special Forces operative, planning to seize Ovi after exploiting Tyler's team, leading to the death of all teammates meant to assist Tyler. With the city under complete lockdown, Nick realized the mission was no longer necessary. He informed Tyler of a location outside the city for a solo breakout and retreat. However, the next day, Tyler couldn't bring himself to abandon Ovi, despite 2 blockades between him and the retreat point. To break through, Tyler decided to cooperate with Saju, and they quickly agreed to work together. They soon reached the first blockade, where numerous soldiers were conducting searches. Tyler then took out a grenade launcher and initiated an attack. Instantly, the attention of all the soldiers was drawn, and Saju seized the opportunity to drive through the blockade with Ovi. With Tyler's assistance, Saju successfully broke through the first blockade. However, Tyler was immediately surrounded by a large number of soldiers, and then a rocket launcher was aimed at him. In response, Tyler quickly drew his pistol to defend himself. Meanwhile, Saju approached the final blockade. He initially tried to blend in with the crowd to slip past unnoticed but was eventually spotted by the soldiers. After assessing the surrounding soldiers, Saju had no choice but to engage in combat. Immediately, all the soldiers converged on the scene, and Saju opened fire with full force. Observing from a distance, Amir noticed this and immediately dispatched 2 more teams for support. At this point, Tyler also began his breakout. In no time, Tyler managed to eliminate all the soldiers surrounding him. On the other side, a team in a helicopter launched an attack on Saju. Saju was heavily suppressed and left with no ability to fight back. Just then, Tyler's mercenary team arrived at the blockade. Nick stepped out of the vehicle and immediately took out a rocket launcher. Simultaneously, Amir's reinforcement team also arrived, and the enemies from the helicopter landed behind, surrounding Saju. Saju urgently requested Tyler's support. Finding himself trapped, just as Tyler was about to head there, an armored vehicle appeared and attacked him. Tyler had to quickly take cover in a nearby vegetable market. Meanwhile, Tyler's team had taken control of the exit of the last blockade. Nick then aimed his rocket launcher at the helicopter, and in the next second, the helicopter exploded. At that time, another group of soldiers entered the vegetable market where Tyler was hiding. Tyler threw a grenade and began a counterattack. The group of soldiers was instantly annihilated. Then, Tyler rushed out to quickly take down the machine gun on the armored vehicle. After throwing a grenade into the armored vehicle, he hurried to support Saju, who was already engaged in fierce combat with the newly arrived soldiers. Tyler reached the final blockade and launched a total breakout attack. But at the front, Saju couldn't hold on any longer. He was caught by a soldier and exposed in an open area, where he was instantly riddled with bullets by the advancing soldiers. Despite the heavy suppression, Saju still desperately stood up to resist. Just as Saju took down an opponent and grabbed an AK to continue fighting, he was suddenly shot in the head. The shot came from a sniper, an officer from Amir's side. At that moment, Tyler's team's helicopter arrived. The officer, noticing it, began aiming and killed the co-pilot, forcing the pilot to change the landing position. Another mercenary member was sniped, which was unbearable for Nick. The officer then turned his attention towards Tyler, who had just arrived, giving Nick the chance to counterattack. At this moment, Tyler was on a rampage, eliminating enemies in the rear. The officer had Tyler in his sights, but Nick couldn't locate the officer's position. Just as Tyler was taking down more soldiers, the officer found his opportunity and shot Tyler, who fell to the ground. As the officer was about to shoot again, Nick, pinpointing the officer's location from the gunshot, ended his life with a single shot. Tyler, struggling, crawled behind a car. Ovi, unable to watch any longer, came to Tyler's side. Tyler's mercenary team began to approach, and Tyler told Ovi to run towards the team while he covered them. Tyler quickly eliminated the pursuing enemies and began to retreat. Seeing Tyler's success, Nick breathed a sigh of relief. But in the next second, Tyler's neck was pierced by a bullet. Surprisingly, a young kidnapper appeared from behind and took a shot at Tyler, after which Nick immediately retaliated against him. Tyler, unable to control his body, fell off the bridge into the river below. Nick, seeing this, had no choice but to take Ovi and the team onto the helicopter and retreat. In the end, Ovi's father paid the remaining fee, allowing Ovi to resume his normal life. During a gathering, Amir went to the bathroom alone, only to unexpectedly find Nick appearing beside him. Nick avenged Tyler with a shot and, after firing a few more bullets, left the scene satisfied.